This video in no way condones fraud, but instead explains how it happens and the consequences thereof. Scammers, beware. By the end of this, you'll reevaluate what you think you plan on doing. Are you trying to change the dollar amount on a check? Maybe you want to write in a different payee, or even just change the date. Now, you could go back to the person who wrote the check in the first place and see if they'll make the changes or just write another one. But something tells me you don't want to do that. Instead, you're watching this video here on check washing, hoping that it's easy to do and totally legal.
Perfectly legal.
Well, I can't promise you it's either of those things, but let's see. So what's the first step to check washing? Step 1, don't. If you're actually thinking about doing this so you can get some extra cash, just stop. Stop watching, get some help. Step 2, once you've decided you're not going to do it, then you can watch this video. Step 3, secure a written check. A long time ago, Jim Carrey wrote himself $1 million check to manifest his dreams of being a famous actor one day. He ultimately became one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood in the late 90s.
I wrote myself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and I gave myself 5 years. And I dated it Thanksgiving 1995. And I put it in my wallet, and I kept it there, and it deteriorated and stuff. But then, just before Thanksgiving 1995, I found out that I was going to make $10 million on, I think it was Dumb and Dumber.
I don't know, maybe there's something to this. But the point is, he made himself a written check. Once you've secured the written check, whether it be from somebody else or yourself, you're going to want to follow step 4. Wipe off the ink with nail polish remover. Don't use a lot because you're not trying to saturate the paper and blur everything out. Now, let's say you did like Jim Carrey and you wrote a check to yourself to manifest your dreams. You don't want to look at that check and be seeing a bunch of blurred lines. That's not inspiring. No, you want to see a legitimate looking check. So, you only want to use just enough nail polish remover to erase what you wrote with precision. So, I don't know, maybe just a dime size, right? Step 5. Dry the check off. Let it air dry or sit it in front of a fan, it doesn't matter. Step 6. Write in the new information. Whatever check details you wanted to change them. Once you get to this point, you should be solid. Now, you can take your manifestation check seriously.
What are you talking about?
As you can see, the main part of this process involves nail polish remover, or more specifically, acetone, which makes up 30 to 60% of the cleaning agent. Now, all my ladies know that nail polish is actually really hard to take off if you're not using remover. OPI does not mess around. Guys, the best way I can explain it is like trying to scrape off coffee stains from your teeth. It's really hard because texture-wise, there's nothing to actually scrape off. You're just hoping the color changes eventually. Really, the only thing that can remove coffee stains are Crest white strips, right? Like toothpaste really won't do the trick. Well, nails aren't that different. They also need a special chemical to lift the color off of any surface. So, if nail polish remover can lift color off of something smooth, like a nail, then it can easily lift ink off a check.
Good news, we got your payment, buddy. Bad news, they gave you life.
I'm just an investigator, right? Not an attorney. So I'm not going to say that changing the details on a check alone will get you jail time. But who knows, it might. Right? I mean, actually though, who knows? Maybe you can leave a comment down below. I'm sure it depends on specific state or county laws. But the main concern is not how you write the check, but what you do with it. Or even how you got that check in the first place. That's what's risky. Now, surprisingly, step 3 really throws folks for a loop. For some reason, securing a written check is not as easy as writing one to yourself. Those 4 would know. On February 16th, 2023, Devon Broughton, John Klotz, Joshua Cruz, and Kayla Massa were all arrested for their alleged role in a mail and check fraud scheme. According to the Upper Merion Police Department, these 4 individuals were going around town breaking into mailboxes and USPS drop boxes to steal written checks. They would allegedly alter the checks, probably using that nail polish remover technique, and replace the original details with their information. This would allow them to cash or deposit the checks to make withdrawals before anybody would even notice. This scheme earned them bukus of money, an incredible $622,999 to be exact. Their victims were devastated. Folks were trying to pay their taxes and medical bills, but these four said fuck them medical bills and went on to spend the money on goodies like Gucci, drinks, and jewelry. Josh actually invested his share into his rap career, producing songs like Gotta Grind.
Wake up and I gotta grind. Take a shower, my powder slides. Gucci watch, my kind of time. The living truth when they gotta lie.
Now, it's not totally clear what Kayla Massa spent her share of the money on, but it's amazing to think that she's still running high-profile scams. Now, I'll make a separate video on this one day, but for now, I'll just say that exactly 3 years ago, Kayla Massa was arrested for scamming her YouTube and IG followers out of $1.5 million. She did this in another check and debit card scheme, and now she just got out of prison for that. So for her to immediately go back to fast money is really crazy. But that's neither here nor there. I say all this to say that actually securing the written check is not always easy and actually pairs well with other felony crimes. Then there's the matter of what do you do with that check once you change the name or dollar amount. Believe it or not, some people do not alter checks to manifest their dreams. Instead, they do basic check fraud, where you deposit a bad check and withdraw the funds before the check bounces. Some scammers like to change the name and dollar amount so that they can cash the check while pretending to be somebody else. Florida man would know something about that. 40-year-old Melvin Brooks of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, was recently sentenced to 57 months in federal prison for check fraud and aggravated identity theft. Brooks was actually a part of a prominent fraud ring, the Felony Lane Gang. This gang would actually smash and grab in multiple states, breaking car windows and stealing whatever they could find in broad daylight. What made them especially successful was the fact that they would often target middle-aged moms. They would follow these moms and housewives around town, watch her get out of the car to take her kids to soccer practice, and then immediately take whatever they could. More often than you'd expect, they would end up with so much bank information. Then the Felony Lane Gang ladies would write these checks, sometimes having to wash them with nail polish remover and cash them at the bank, pretending to be somebody else in the process. Now, this scheme only landed on $30,000. That we know of. But still, they check washed their way into some extra cash. If only they didn't get caught, huh? But that's the thing. If you check wash for some innocent reason, then you'll be fine. Alter the check that you'll use to manifest your goals. Don't alter a check to fund them. But this is all for educational purposes. After all, step 1 of this video did say don't do this. So then why am I telling you this? Well, every time we share secrets from the highly sought after 2023 Fraud Bible, we take some of the value out of it. Why purchase the Bible when the game is already public knowledge? By taking the value out of the Fraud Bible, we stop putting money in the hands of those who make their living in the black market. So if you want more fraud news and analysis, then go ahead and press that like button and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, stay out of trouble.